What is going on, my YouTube friends? Guys, gals, I just wanted to make this video. This is about the DRZ 400. I posted a little thing in my community there, about making videos about it. So I kind of wanted to tell you how I got back into this. The last bike I had before I bought this DRZ 400 was a YZ250. That was back in 1990, 91, 92, And I sold that to my brother-in-law, and I never bought another bike. I was too much into raising my family and stuff like that. And I had four-wheelers in that, but I just didn't have no more bikes. And I've been riding my whole life up until 92. I started riding, a Honda 50, Trail 50 when I was like 5 years old, man. So 4 years old, I was riding a mini bike, so I've always rode up until the early 90s. And, I started having kids and stuff like that, and that was more important, and I always bought my kids four-wheelers and stuff like that. I bought them a dirt bike once before. I think it was a Honda 75, I think is what it was, and then they wasn't really riding it, so I sold it to a friend of mine for his kids. So we always bought four-wheelers, so four-wheelers were always, what we rode and stuff like that for the kids. My youngest daughter, she started riding when she was like 8 years old, on four-wheelers and stuff. So, the kids always learned on that. And I believe, if you teach your kids safety and how to ride these motorcycles and these four-wheelers and stuff like that, that'll make them a better driver in the future. Because, that's how my dad raised me. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I did. That's how I raised my kids. But just, out of the blue, a friend of mine one day says, hey, we used to ride together all the time, and we used to have a lot of fun, and and we used to just ride, and we all got together every night, and after school we'd do our chores and homework or whatever, and we'd go and we'd ride. It was the everyday thing. And in the wintertime we had snowmobiles, so we went out and rode snowmobiles and that. So he puts this post on Facebook and tags me in it and a bunch of other guys, and I'm like, shoot, man, this sounds like a good time, Heck, I don't drink or smoke or anything like that, so heck, why not? Buy a bike and go ride with my old buddies. They still drink and smoke a little bit, but, I don't do it. I'm AFib and I take a heart pill and stuff like that, so I'm not gonna torture myself by drinking and smoking. It's just not good for the heart. You know what I mean? I have a beer every now and then. Don't get me wrong. I will drink a beer every now and then. But yeah, so he posted it up there. So I got online, and this is the thing. I rode from the time I was, 5 years old. So I rode from like 1970 all the way up until, 92. And when I sold my YZ250. I still rode four-wheelers, like I said, and stuff like that, but not the bikes, not the dirt bikes. So there was a guy that repaired these bikes and stuff like that, and I used to ride with his son. His son was actually a racer. He raced, and I used to ride with him and help him practice and stuff like that. And his dad wanted me to race with his son, So, he was going to give me a full ride, man. I could just go and ride with this guy and race, So, and I was going to race in like a B class. I can't remember the classes right now, but it was like a B class and stuff. So this guy was going to sponsor me 100%. And when he went and talked to my parents are like, no, man, my kid. This is like when I was like 14 years old, 13 years old, 15 years old in that area, He ain't racing no motorcycles. He'll get hurt. But yet, you can play football and get your neck broke. Hey, either way, right? And I was upset because I wanted to ride. I didn't care for sports. I wanted to ride. You know what I mean? And so it was a no. But I still, rode with his son and stuff like that. And it's kind of funny because it was like, my parents let me have these things my whole life. But when I really wanted to do something with them that I wanted to do, it was a no. But now you go get yourself and play football or whatever. I don't want to play football. I want to race, So motocross, it was a lot of fun, man. Hey, I could tabletop with the best of them back then. I wouldn't try it now, though. So anyhow, I had got up in there and got in the ride and stuff like that, and I've ridden my whole life, and my buddy gets on Facebook and says, let's do it. So I looked for a used bike. I couldn't find nothing, man. I mean, for what I could buy used, I could buy a new one for a couple $100 more. Seriously, it was that bad. So I stopped at the dealership one day and the guy says, hey, I'll give you that bike out the door, man, for $7,000. Suzuki DRZ 400. You know, I can ride it on the road a little bit and ride it on the trails and, you know, do whatever. I got to change the tires and stuff still, but for the ride I'm doing right now, they're fine. You know, if I get into real sandy or stuff or something like that, I have to get a better tire. But I mean, right now I'm just doing a few mods to the bike and this and that. And shoot, man, I'm just going on and on, guys. Gals, I apologize. I start talking about this stuff and bringing back memories and stuff like that. So let's look at the bike and see what I got done to it so far. And I'll explain to it why I'm showing you the bike. I'm sure you much rather look at the bike than look at me. So let's turn this around. So here's the bike. I mean, it's a cool bike, man. I really like it. You know, I can ride this thing on the road. It's got turn signals and headlight and tail light, brake lights and everything like that. So I can ride it on the road to go to the trails and stuff and, you know, and just bring back some memories. It's basically what it was. And like I said, I've had the bike for a couple of years. And last year was probably the most I rode it, 2021, because of the pandemic. I couldn't get my cycle endorsement or nothing like that because you couldn't get in the Secretary of State, you know. And so to get back to the story, my buddy just put a list on Facebook, and a bunch of us that used to ride together, and I thought, man, that's a great idea. You know, that's really something I could really get into right now, you know, and I'm a car guy, you know. So that's the thing. I'm a car guy 100%, but I do like other stuff with engines on them, you know. So, you know, I looked, I couldn't find nothing. And so I went to the dealer, and the dealer says, hey, I'll give you this thing out the door for $7,000. And it's brand new, you know. And I couldn't buy a used one. They wanted $6,500. So for, you know, $500, $600, I'm buying a new one. I might as well just go ahead and get the new one, get the year warranty or whatever they warranty it for, and have something to ride, man. So I bought it, and I called my friend up, and took it by his house, and, you know, brought it home, and we unloaded it. I got a video with that. I'll put the link down in the description when I first bought it, you know, and I'm glad I did. You know, I had a lot of fun. Then last year we went up north, and I made a couple of videos of riding it using my GoPro and stuff, or riding it around here and riding it through the park and that, you know, and I posted a couple of pictures so people know I got the bike, you know. But yeah, so I bought it and I had it. So now I'm starting to do a few mods to it and get it so it's ready to ride, and so that way if I go out on the trails and stuff like that, I can just go out and enjoy myself, and, you know, me and my friends and that. A couple people that I've met on YouTube and online that, you know, they ride a lot, so heck, we can ride with them too. Hopefully we can get together and ride with some of those guys this summer and make some good memories and some videos, you know. So let's talk about some of the things I've done to the bike since I've had it. So when I first bought the bike, it didn't have no rack on the back. This didn't have a rack on the back at all. So I had to buy a rack, and I put this rack right here on it, and then I bought the bag right here. And that's it upside down there. So that's the bag I bought, and, you know, you can extend the bag. I do have a gas tank that I can mount to this, and I can put the bag on top of the gas tank. So, you know, if I'm going out for a little longer ride, then I'm going to think I'm going to need a little extra gas, I can take the gas. It's only a gallon can. You can buy a bigger can, but I haven't. One of these days I'll lay this stuff out, and so you can really see what I bought. I can't remember the name of the rack though, but it's a good rack. Oh yeah. So we got that, and then a lot of people take these off right here in the back where the plate goes when it comes down. They say it's ugly, and it is ugly, but it's a good place to put my RV stickers. You know what I mean? So I'm keeping it on there. And I put the side shields on both sides right here. I can't think what this is the side covers are made of right now, but they're kind of thin and they're easy to break. So if you fall or something like that, you can push that shifter right through that case. So I bought these on Amazon right here, and got those. So I got the covers on there, and I got them on both sides because you got the brake on the other side. And like I said, I can't remember what that is, but it's a real soft metal, and that brake pedal and the gear shifter right there would go right through it. So we put those extra plates on there for that. And right now, I got these right here to help tie them down. It's a lot better than trying to tie it down to your handlebars. So I put my hook right through here and run it down to the trailer, tighten it up, and we're good to go. So those are a couple mods that I've done to it over the last, year or so. And just recently, I just put some of this stuff on there, like the covers. I just put those on the other day and that. And these right here, I just put on there. So, I mean, that's it. And I put those on there about a year ago. But yeah, it's just a sweet bike, DRZ 400. And a lot of people say this is a great beginner bike, but I'm going to tell you something. I don't think I really classify myself as a beginner, but when I first got on this thing, man, I was shaky. I was real shaky. I mean shaky. But now I get on it, I'm fine. I ain't riding no wheelies or nothing yet, and don't really plan to, Yeah, because these bones they're not as hard as they once was. And they're probably a little bit more brittle and easier to break nowadays. But that's what it is. It's a 2019 DRZ 400. And I can drive this thing on the street, and I can drive it on the trails and that. And that's my plan, So my buddy and we're going to get out and ride some more. And there's a couple more YouTube guys out there that live pretty close to us. So we're going to probably ride on some of the roads and stuff around here and down some of the dirt roads and that and the back trails that we can find. And maybe we'll go up north and ride together. I'm supposed to go up north with my buddy that talked me into buying this thing. I'm supposed to go up north with him and for Memorial Day, but I think I'll be down in Kentucky decorating the graves with my 91-year-old dad. I got to spend as much time as I can with him, and plus he likes to go down there and decorate his family's graves down there, his family, my family, you know what I mean. So let me turn this around. So anywho, we're going to use this thing and we're going to try to make some videos with it and this and that. So I hope you guys enjoy this stuff, because I sure do. And I'm sure going to enjoy making the videos for you. And I hope you guys come by and you watch. The Fairmont, it's getting to be that time of year where I'm going to have the Mach 1s out and go to the car shows and stuff like that. So the Fairmont, we'll probably do some work on it throughout the summer, but we're not going to work on it as hard as we did this winter because I think we got a lot done on this car this winter. So we're going to do motorcycle content. We're going to do the Mach 1, the 21 Mach 1 content. We're going to do the 70 Mach 1 content. And we're going to do some junkyard content. But the junkyard content, very little is going to be on this channel. You're going to have to go to Lee's Auto Parts channel and check that one out and get that content from there. So I'm a busy guy. I got a lot of things going on. So like I says, I was going to go up north with my friends for Memorial Day, but I'm going to go with my dad so he can decorate the graves and stuff like that because, he's in good health and he's, really good and everything like that, but you just never know. We're not promised tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to spend as much time as I can with my dad. He's a good man. He's always took good care of me. You know what I'm saying? And we've always been kind of close. He was tough on me when I was younger, but hey, you got to be tough on your kids because if you're not, somebody else is going to be, and you're not going to be very happy with the turnout. You know what I mean? The streets are hard. The streets are hard. So you got to train your kids. You got to let your kids know that. You got to let your kids know you love them. So that was my dad. He always let us know, I love you, son, but I don't like what you're doing. And I always did my kids the same way. You mess up, you're going to suffer my wrath. Guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you're going to enjoy the content on the DRZ 400. I think it's a great bike. A lot of people think it's a starter bike. I think it's a bike for anybody, And I kind of, I've ridden all my life up to 92 in it, but I haven't ridden in, 30 years. You know what I'm saying? So you figure 92, it's 2012 22. So, I mean, I've had a couple years on the bike, but not a whole lot. I got 700 miles on the bike in a couple years. You know what I'm saying? So that tells you how much I've been riding, but I plan on doing a lot more riding. So the only thing we can do is be safe. And, you know, as videos come and this and that, I'll tell you what kind of helmet I wear and what I wear to ride and stuff like that. And you know, my gloves and everything else, which I got a couple pair of gloves I use when it's a little cooler weather or when it's warmer out. So, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys have a great day, great night, whatever time it is you watch this, and you guys are awesome. I don't care what anybody says. If they tell you different, you tell them come see me and I'll tell them you're awesome. Have a great rest of your day.